I'm just wondering about the level of concern about the Philadelphia Eagles. What do you think right now? What do you got? What do you got?
Medium, not higher than my level of concern for Michigan, who hosts Bama, but and I think that's why we got that question last week, because you're just but the Eagles, I'm concerned about them, dude. I am. Like, it's medium concern. It's like they're a good football team, but if that's your best over the last 2 weeks, it's going to be hard to get out of the NFC. I don't think there's anybody in the AFC that they can't beat, but you're kind of approaching a situation where, San Francisco looks to be a better team, and the Cowboys look to be the type of team that you have to play a lot better than that to beat. I mean, when your best players are putting the ball on the ground in plus territory all night, it's what do you want to do? I mean, you're not going to beat that team. And then you've got probably, if not one of the worst third down defenses in the league. And you're going against one of the best in the league. And I mean, nothing sums it up more than getting 2 penalties on the same play, both of them enforced. Like, how many times do you see that in the NFL? It happened to the Eagles on a third down, I think at the end of the first half, and they just couldn't get off the field and they couldn't stop the run. Like, I don't know, where could we start with that defense right now? It's like, that's not going to get it done.
Well, how do you tighten the bolts on that in the final 4 games of the season? Obviously, the Eagles are a playoff team. We can at least,
for sure.
And it's kind of crazy that we have to stipulate that to continue our conversation. But how do you go ahead in the final 4 weeks of a season and fix? Are they fixable problems, what you're seeing, Chris?
I mean, what do you think, Rich? I mean, like, you're looking at the defensive pieces. Some of those pieces are the fix is the offense scoring 35 points. So, like, it kind of is what it is. Like, and Howie, who I think is brilliant, has left this door open with some of the personnel resource allocation. Now, I know Dean's hurt and that sort of thing, and they've had injuries at linebacker with Cunningham and all these guys, and it's been like a revolving door outside since Maddox went down early in the season. But I don't know, man. I worry about the scheme on both sides of the ball, if I'm being dead honest, relative to last year, and I worry about the personnel on defense. And it puts the offense in a position where they have to be great. Now, last night they were terrible putting the ball on the ground and that sort of thing, dropping footballs. Those guys will tell you that. They're probably pretty hard on themselves, but that's how they have to play if they're going to go on the road and beat Dallas in the playoffs. If they're going to have to beat San Francisco, they're going to have to score 35 points. Now, unless there's something I haven't seen yet from the defense, and it could be, and they will be in the playoffs, and they're going to have another chance to beat one of these 2 teams. I believe that. But some of the personnel issues are pretty concerning.
Well, I mean, let's just put it this way. We're seeing Green Bay tonight, and I think Green Bay could really give Philadelphia a game, to be straight up with you, if they wind up being the 2 seed, a 3 seed. I know the Lions have definitely slipped. That's how far this level of play for Philadelphia has slipped. As I mentioned, earlier in the program, Chris, that the narrative from the Eagles went from a plucky team, if you can call that an NFC champion that's defending its crown plucky, but went from a plucky team to being a lucky team. That the issues that they were overcoming in the losses and the wins over the Chiefs and the Bills now might have just been masking the luck that they needed to win those games, including Dak stepping out of bounds in their first meeting with Dallas. Like, that's now the narrative for Philadelphia.
You could say the same thing about any team in the NFC other than the Niners. I don't think that, like the Cowboys, they just started beating good teams. So, I want to give them a lot of credit. I would put Dak in the MVP race. I think they're a really good football team, but I do think the Eagles are kind of getting that 10-1 start held against them, coming off a Super Bowl, which is really rare. I would have told you a month, 2 ago, they're not the same team as last year. They're having to win a lot of games close, and the offense doesn't look the same. I think Jalen looks a little uncomfortable at times, but I don't want to put it all on him. Guys got to catch the ball. Guys got to hold on to the ball, and they have to be able to run the ball. That game script sucks for them. You can't go down there. They ran the ball well, but they had to get away from it. So I guess if you're trying to make them the Vikings from last year, which I've heard that's been like a trendy hot take over the last 2 weeks, you're wrong. The Vikings lost to a team in the Giants who are like basement dwellers this year. And, won 1 million games with their luck index through the roof and that sort of thing. Like the Eagles are a good football team. There just happen to be two that you could argue are better in the NFC right now.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.